Hi guys, and welcome back for another reaction review. This time I'm taking it on to a little more of a serious note with this track that I'm going to take a look at. This track was done in support of World Mental Health Day. It's Aldrig Ensam. It's by the bands Netterbrant from Sweden. And the track talks about the struggles of mental health. And, you know, I think a lot of us think that when we're going through something, we're the only ones who've ever gone through it. And we get caught up in that space of we think we're the only ones and we have to be alone in it. And people coming out talking about their issues like this help us all to realize we're not as far apart as we think we are, and that we're all going through some sort of struggles in our life. And I hope at some point in this world, we get to that point where we feel like we can talk openly about mental health issues, because it's affects everyone. I mean, I don't know anybody that their family or themselves have not been directly affected, either whether it's their own mental health or something happening in their own family or their circle of friends. So it's a discussion we need to keep having. And this track came at the perfect time. It was released October 10th. And it features Tony Netterbrant doing the music. He's also doing lyrics, vocals, and you've got lead and backup vocals from his wife, Åsa Netterbrant. So let's dig into this and see what all he has to say and put through in this music and how it all comes together. The video also included some interactions with fans. So let's take a look and see what all came out on the final product of this video. And again, let's keep talking about mental health and letting people know that they are not alone. I can't tell you how many friends that have been affected by suicide over the last year, whether it's a loved one, a close friend, or someone in their circle. Myself, personally, I've had good friends that have decided to commit suicide because they just didn't feel like there was any other way out of where they were. And I don't want anybody to feel the pain that we have felt, our families have felt, their families have felt. If we can stop this needless exit for people, it would be a wonderful thing for humanity. It's a really rough and tough conversation. So before I start crying, thinking about the friends that I've lost and that the friends that I know other friends and families have lost, let's go ahead and dig into this track and see what Tony poured into it. So let me grab headphones and we're going to dig into his new track. Just in the music.
Jag ser att det är inom dig. Jag ser ju att du inte är okej. Jag försöker att förstå. Ser ju hur du fortsätter att slå. Fortsätter att slå. Allt jag känner är så svart. Jag kommer inte alls någonstans. vi nå den högsta platå. Tillsammans är vi allt, tillsammans tusenfalt. Fortsätt då att gå, till hoppet kan vi nå. När tankarna är där, när de är besvär, låt dem få bero, men låt dem inte gro. Tillsammans är vi allt, tillsammans tusenfalt. Fortsätt då att gå, till hoppet kan vi nå. Livet kan vara svårt, livet kan vara hårt, men vad gör vi då? Vi kämpar på. Allt vi har omkring kan vara svårt att se. Låt oss hjälpas åt, låt oss inte överge.
Whew, that's heavy, and that's a very somber topic. Knowing Tony and Osa, I know, of the struggles there. And I also saw some familiar faces in that video as well. So, I think that artists have this thing that they can do with their voice that can help people. I've seen one too many people exit this life from mental health issues, and it doesn't get easier. It doesn't seem to stop. And that means somewhere in our system we're failing each other. And I think that more and more people, as they speak up, less and less people will feel so devastatingly alone in their struggles. I know one of my idols decided to end his life this year, and it hurt. And another artist that I'm absolutely loved a few years back decided to end her life, and that still hurts rough. It's so rough, like, to think that that's your only way to feel better. And mental health is not this thing that's a simple fix, and everyone's got their own struggles, and everyone's got their own nuance that they deal with within their issues that they're going through. And whether it is we just don't have enough services to help people, or people feel ashamed to come forward, or are so desperate in their darkness that they can't reach out for help, and people around them have just kind of walked away because they don't really know what's going on and they forget to check. I think that's something that in this world today, people get so caught up in their own social media, they're being on their TikToks, their Instagrams, or whatever, their self-gratification instant moments that often people that are struggling get left behind because people just don't seem to pay attention the same ways that they did before. And it doesn't mean that there weren't people with mental health issues before, because this has been something I've seen through my entire life, as long as I can remember, as I started recognizing it as a child with people in my life. I think this is such a hard-hitting song when, you know, in the lyrics that he's saying that, you know, he sees you're not okay, and they can see what's inside of you, and that there's darkness, but you're not alone, but they don't know how to reach you, and that together we can help each other. That's the biggest thing, is togetherness and reaching these times and realizing that our lives can be a struggle, and that we need to do better with each other and as humans to help each other, and being better at showing up for people instead of just saying, anytime you need something. No, we need to honestly show up for people, and people need to know that they can reach out and there's going to be an answer. And that if they reach out to us as friends, as family, that they're going to have an answer. If they reach out to medical care professionals, that they can get an answer and not just be told that it's either overfilled or there's no services or they're not sure when they can get you in. I'm like, we've got to do better as humanity to help people through these really tough life altering situations, that as we see people who continue to commit suicide, we know we failed. That is a simple answer to that right there, is that people are still committing suicide because they haven't been able to get the help they need, or they feel so desperate and alone. So all I can say to this is I'm sad to know that I have friends that struggle with mental health. I've had my own issues with mental health, and I don't know of a ton of people who have not gone through some sort of depression or something trying in their lives that did not affect their mental health. I think we've all gone through something, and I say we all go through our own trials, but it's how we handle them as humanity and as friends and as humans with each other is how we make a difference. So we've got to all remember to kind of, in our busy times, to still step back. And if you've got normal friends that suddenly are acting out of their norm, like if they friends you have that suddenly stop talking or just disengage completely out of the norm, reach out and talk to your friends and make sure that they're okay, because sometimes it's not just an algorithm that's causing them to not show up in your feed. Sometimes friends are in a desperate way, and sometimes you're not going to know until you get that call that they've ended their lives. So if you take anything away from this at all, and from this experience and from this song, is we have to check in on our friends and family. We have to connect more, and we have to really genuinely connect. When you're with your friends, put your phones down. Spend that time just connecting. Be there for an ear for somebody if they need it. If somebody calls you and you don't know what you can do for them, stay on the end of the line if that's all they need. Sometimes people just need to be able to cry or know that there's somebody there that will answer. So with that heaviness that comes with this, and this horrible, heavy topic that keeps coming up that we need to address, be better to your friends, be better to yourself. Know that if you are struggling, you are not alone. Reach out to people. I know it's hard. Sometimes you just feel like you can't do anything and reach out to anybody, but sometimes you've got to find that way to do it. And there's nothing wrong with taking those days and just totally detoxifying yourself from everything around you, but don't let yourself get so caught up in that space that you don't reach out again. So I hope every one of you out there is well, and I hope that if you are struggling, you have someone to reach out to, that you can speak up and you can get the help that you need, and that you can connect with your friends, find that way to connect. And if those of you out there have friends that have suddenly kind of disappeared out of your radar, just call them and check in on, send them a text, just see if they're okay. Just let them know that there is somebody in their life that would miss them and that realizes that they're not acting the normal way. So on that, guys, have a wonderful day, and I hope you are all well, and I'll see you guys on the next reaction. Let's make sure we're checking up on everyone. Have a great day.